Night explodes over Tehran. No warning, no speech, just fire ripping across the sky. Sirens howl, windows shatter, power flickers. People run without knowing where to go, only that something terrible has begun. Thousands of miles away, in silent command rooms, no one cheers. Because this wasn't just a strike, it was a line being crossed. The United States and Israel hit Iran, and within hours, Iran hit back. For years, this war lived in the shadows. Viruses that sabotage nuclear machines, scientists killed in broad daylight, cargo ships mysteriously burning at sea, rockets fired by groups that officially didn't exist. No one admitted it. No one stopped it. Everyone prepared for the day it would spill into the open. That day is now. The attack came in waves. First, cyber strikes. Radar screens went blind, communications glitched, air defenses hesitated at the worst possible moment. Then, stealth aircraft, invisible shapes slicing through the darkness. Then, missiles, precise, coordinated, designed to cripple, not just scare. Underground facilities, weapons depots, command hubs, targets chosen long before this night ever arrived. Explosions rolled across the outskirts of Tehran like distant thunder that refused to fade. By sunrise, smoke columns marked the damage like scars on the horizon. Washington called it necessary. Israel called it survival. Tehran called it war. Inside Iran, the shock lasted minutes. The planning had lasted decades. Leaders didn't panic. They moved to the next page of a script written long ago, retaliation. But retaliation is, well, a dangerous art. Too weak, and you invite more attacks. Too strong, and you ignite a regional inferno. Iran chose something in between. First came the images. State TV flooded screens with footage of destroyed sites, funerals, grieving families, crowds chanting for revenge. The message was clear. We were hit. And we will answer. Then came the quiet calls. Lebanon, Iraq, Syria, Yemen. Allies and armed groups aligned with Tehran shifted into motion, launchers uncovered, drones armed, fighters on standby. The region began to vibrate with tension. Then the sky over Israel screamed. Sirens, midnight panic, families sprinting to shelters, missile defense systems roared to life, firing interceptors into the darkness. Bright streaks collided with incoming threats, exploding high above cities. Some missiles were destroyed. Some slipped through. Distant booms echoed across neighborhoods, phones lit up with emergency alerts, children covered their ears as buildings trembled. Iran announced its response, but the message wasn't just for Israel, it was for the world. Because this fight doesn't stay contained. In the Persian Gulf, US warships shifted into combat posture. Fighter jets launched, oil tankers rerouted away from danger. Within hours, energy markets shook, insurance costs for shipping surged, governments activated crisis teams. Meanwhile, American bases in Iraq and Syria reported drone attacks from militia groups. Suddenly, multiple fronts were alive, and none of them fully controlled. Behind every missile exchange is something more powerful than strategy: fear. For Israel, the fear is annihilation, the belief that a nuclear-armed Iran could erase the country in minutes. For Iran, the fear is suffocation, decades of sanctions, isolation, and threats reinforcing a narrative of resistance at any cost. For the United States, the fear is losing control of a region that shapes global energy and security. But ordinary people don't speak in strategy, they speak in survival. A mother in Tel Aviv doesn't care about nuclear doctrine when she's pulling her child into a shelter. A shop owner in Tehran doesn't debate geopolitics while sweeping shattered glass from his floor. War shrinks the world down to one question: will we be alive tomorrow? And then, another battlefield opened, invisible, silent, everywhere. Cyber war. Bank systems flickered offline. Government networks were probed. Infrastructure alarms triggered across multiple countries. No explosions, no smoke, just the unsettling feeling that something unseen was moving through the wires. Modern war no longer needs boots on the ground to reach you. If you have electricity, you're already on the front line. World leaders scrambled to stop the spiral. Emergency UN meetings, urgent phone calls, public demands for restraint. But behind closed doors, the real message was blunt. Do not let this become uncontrollable, because the nightmare scenarios are catastrophic. If Iran blocks the Strait of Hormuz, a huge portion of the world's oil supply could vanish overnight. If Hezbollah launches full-scale war from Lebanon, Israel would respond with devastating force. If American casualties rise, Washington could unleash overwhelming retaliation. Each step triggers the next, like falling dominoes made of gunpowder. Yet, for now, both sides are calculating. Iran struck hard enough to show strength, but not everything it has. The US reinforced forces, but avoided immediate escalation. Israel prepared for a larger war, while waiting to see the next move. This is not peace. It's a standoff with weapons drawn. History warns how fragile this moment is. Wars often begin not because leaders want catastrophe, but because they believe they can control it. They believe the other side will back down. They believe escalation has limits. History rarely agrees. Tonight, missile stockpiles remain full, alliances remain locked, anger remains fresh. Tehran has retaliated, Washington and Tel Aviv stand ready, and the rest of the world watches, hoping the next headline isn't worse than the last. Because a full-scale war here would not stay local. It would spread across borders, economies, cyberspace, and daily life around the globe. Fuel prices, trade routes, security alliances, migration waves, everything would feel it. Here's the darkest reality. No one involved can afford to lose, but no one can truly win either. Victory would come with devastation so massive it would redefine the region for generations. So now the question isn't who struck first, it's who stops. Will retaliation end here? Will diplomacy break through the smoke? Or will one more strike, one mistake, one misread radar signal, one panicked decision, push the world into something far worse? The sky over Tehran still glows faintly from the fires. The sky over Israel remains tense, waiting for sirens that may come again at any moment. And in secure rooms across the globe, leaders stare at maps, weighing choices that could alter history in hours, not years. Because once momentum takes over, even the most powerful nations may not be able to stop what they started. And the next move, whoever makes it, could decide whether this remains a crisis or becomes a catastrophe.